Hi guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
are you free for coffee?
Welcome, welcome. Buckle up, buttercup.
Child, yeah.
Okay, a Japanese man stopped speaking to his wife for 2 decades.
Pause.
A decade is 10 years, y'all.
I was just about to.
2 of them.
20 years.
Okay.
And they remain married.
They're married. Living in the same house, married. Not even married and you across town. Married in the house. Okay. Excuse the pronunciation. I don't want to butcher it, but Oto Katayama, I believe is how you say it, persisted in cohabiting with his children and wife, despite Yumi, that's the wife, Yumi's efforts to engage in conversation with her spouse. She consistently encountered a lack of genuine responses. Instead, her husband conveyed approval or disapproval through nonverbal signals, such as grunts and nods.
Y'all, I'm chewing on boba because I'm just trying to make it through.
Shockingly, it never occurred to the wife to ask for a divorce or a separation. The couple even went on to welcome a 3rd child, a whole baby, despite Otu not speaking a word to his wife. Okay, the father and husband believed that he wasn't receiving sufficient attention from his wife. He felt that all his wife's care was directed towards their children. They had
their babies, young children.
Two small children, but before this 3rd one. At first, he was just sulking about the situation. But this later turned into jealousy of his kids and wife, who was very involved with the children, which you kind of have to
How
be
could you
when
not
they're
be?
little. Okay. After 20 years of radio silence, the couple's adult children reached out to a television show to help them solve the conflict between their parents.
Oh my gosh.
The kids admitted that they couldn't remember ever hearing a conversation between their parents. The TV show arranged for a meeting between the couple at the park where they had their first date many years ago.
Yes.
So after some hesitation, because you shame because you
ought to be shamed.
Crazy.
20 years.
Oto finally managed to address a few words to his wife, Yumi. Oto explained to his wife that he knew, catch this, he knew that his silence had hurt her and put her through hardship. Oto also expressed gratitude to Yumi for sticking beside him during the 2 decades of silence.
Let me tell y'all
Thoughts?
Let me tell y'all something. First off, do not let this pretty face, these well-manicured nails fool you. I'm from the hood, and I would have beat his ass 19 years ago. 20. So you think you're going to roll in here, we're going to have a whole nother child, and you just going to not speak to me? Now, mind you, he's speaking to the kids. He just won't speak to her.
Right. He's talking. I mean,
this
I guess he got
is
a job
major abuse, guys. This is psychological abuse.
It really is.
This is emotional abuse in some ways. And you can agree with me or disagree.
Oh, for sure. Because she had.
You can agree or disagree.
Where does she go for
Where
anything?
does she go?
I mean,
there's also an element to this that is sexual abuse. Hear me out, because you are engaging with a person, and while the engagement is somewhat consensual, you're not really connected with the person. There is some weirdness.
You're still punishing
there's
her,
punishment in the midst of this, and
some of it's cultural because
I would have beat his ass 19 years ago.
I think in that culture, the women tend to be a little more
they're expected to be subservient, for sure.
And that, so I think that's how he got away with it for so long, because culturally, she probably just had nowhere to go with that.
And let's speak to just, abuse in marriage, which if you know someone who is married, or if you yourself are married, you have either endured abuse or you know someone who has. That's just how prevalent.
And abuse is not always going upside somebody's head.
No,
like
it could be financial.
Abuse.
Yes,
there's a lot
this
of
was
different
emotional
ways.
withholding, spiritual withholding. Yes,
all kinds of.
But
things.
here's the thing with those types of abuse: When a woman or a person is bruised, battered, and has a black eye, there is an instant reaction where someone wants to kind of step in like, oh shit, how do I help? How do I call Lisa and say, Lisa, it's been 2 weeks. This boy still ain't spoke to me. Lisa, it's been 2 months. Lisa, it's been 2 years. He ain't spoke to me. There are some abuses, and that's why I say it's still a form of psychological warfare.
It is.
Where you don't even know where to go with that. How do you explain
and who else
to
is
someone
experiencing this? That's some of it because
we all know physical pain. If you have a black eye,
there's
that
places
hurts.
to go where there's other women
Right.
that's happened to.
Right.
Even though I'm not diminishing it at all.
Oh, at all. No, I'm not.
Just,
I'm saying this is equally as bad.
But is there a halfway house for women that don't get talked to? Probably not.
Ever.
So it's like,
and then it impacted the kids. I'm
because they're thinking like,
because that's why they don't call the TV show like, yo, my daddy ain't talked to my mom. No, I ain't talking about a few weeks.
I'm sure
baby.
for a long time they thought it was normal. You know what I mean? Because that's all they saw. So, but then you get around other people and you're like,
you go to your friend's house,
do talk, or something.
Wait, so your dad talks to your mom?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
And then this fool had the audacity, because there's a little picture of it. There's a picture in the article where he's like sitting next to her by some water, like kind of like a pond. And I'm sorry, I hurt your foot. 20 years later, big fella.
And you know what I was thinking too? It wasn't just that. Because if you're not talking to me, that means you're not being affectionate. I can't imagine you running up, rubbing somebody or caressing them and you ain't talking. No, do you?
It's weird.
I mean, I don't
weird.
think
no, you're not. Come
because
on.
then you're kind
not.
of getting over. And you know what happened? It's like Natasha said. He done went so long. You can't say nothing. Now.
That's it.
That's what it was. When you should have.
You know when you do something wrong and you like, shit, I should have said something.
I know.
And then it keeps going.
And
now you're ashamed that you weren't ashamed, that you are ashamed, and then it just
and then
goes
you just
on.
dig in.
Yeah.
And instead, when you should have went on and apologized
you just
back
stood
then,
10 toes down,
and then you know it'd be over.
Yeah.
So, but now you looking crazy, dummy,
As
on
hell.
National TV with a whole damn show
with 3 kids,
stupid ass,
3 kids looking at you like.
Right.
So they had sex to make. And this the thing, that last child,
that wouldn't happen,
baby.
That wouldn't happen. So when you withholding conversation, I'm
withhold this pussy. I'm gonna tell y'all now. Let me tell you something. And I don't even believe in withholding.
God.
I don't believe in withholding. You ain't gonna have to tap me more than one time. Like, I'm just not a witholder. But you can't talk to me. But you think I'm going to engage?
But she did.
Bless her heart. That's what I'm saying. There's an element of sexual abuse in that as well.
Yeah.
There's an element of that.
Yeah.
Your crazy ass. I said what I said.
Just y'all.
And you know what? God bless those kids. I'm so serious that they had to watch that. There's nothing worse than thinking something that is very dysfunctional is normal, and then you're faced with the reality that is dysfunction. I've lived that. Most people have something within their family. Maybe y'all have family members that are like alcoholics, for example, and you just kind of think everybody has an uncle that's real touchy, or everyone has an uncle that gets drunk and then gets loud or gets violent, or whatever it may be, because it could be anything. Then you go somewhere else and you're like, oh, this went off without a hitch. Like, this doesn't happen. It's like we have reviewed and we love the show The Bear.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch Mikey, who is a brother that ultimately, even though he is so well loved and talented and handsome and all the things, he commits suicide. And everything was so chaotic around him. Mm-hmm. That was his norm, and he just drowned in that.
And the oldest child, he was kind of fixing.
Yeah, he was the fixer.
Mikey.
Yeah, that was it. And he wanted what was best for the siblings, but then he didn't know how to handle his stuff. And so, sometimes that dysfunction, it becomes ingrained in who you are and what your expectations are. And when you step out of that, then you feel very alienated. You're like, wait, your parents talk to each other. Because can you imagine this from the day he was born? The youngest one was a boy. He's never seen, he said it. I don't recall ever in my life seeing them have a conversation.
And I don't know that the other two, they were so young, they probably didn't remember. Yeah.
They agreed, like, no, we don't, they don't speak. And I'm like, so how was dinner, baby? Did you like that? I tried a new paprika.
But it's kind of normalizing, which we tend to do in America, maybe everywhere, abuse.
Yes.
And we don't call it that.
Yes.
But we all know somebody who, it might not be blatant abuse, like physical abuse, but we know somebody who does some stuff, and we're like okay with it, or which
Yeah.
if y'all are watching the Cassie and Diddy thing,
Oh,
well, Diddy, it's
gosh.
Diddy, it's not
Yeah,
Cassie's thing, but her
Yeah.
testimony and others,
Yes.
people all around saw that and
Yes.
nobody really
Yes.
said
Yes.
anything.
And it's that mentality. Oh, that's just how he is.
Or just mind your business.
Or even, I hate the saying, boys will be boys. I hate that. Such a fucking cop out. But that's what it is.
And we talked about TJ Holmes too, because he's a silent treatment giver too.
But then go to work.
Yeah, grinning on Good Morning America and just
all that.
Which I could go upside folks' heads and do that.
Yes.
Which proves you can do it. Because even on days when when everybody has bad days, you got on TV and grinned and skinned at how many million folk that don't give a fuck about you, but you did it.
But you did it
for your job. But you can't put a smile on your face and just act civil to this person that you claim to love. So we normalize that, which is so sad. And I'm thinking, which I think it's the cultural thing with them, because I'm sure they went to family, whatever they have, barbecues and stuff, or friends' homes, and you're seeing like, what's up?
Girl, they might have been looking like this fool.
What's going on? And ain't nobody said nothing. I'm thinking like, what? Relatives or somebody would have called it out. But
I'll say this,
can't make them do it.
But I'll say this, abusers are talented.
Oh, they are. Tricky. And code switch.
They're code switchers. They're manipulative. Abusers are. Abusers are. And really,
because Ted Bundy, y'all, had a girlfriend
with a daughter.
With a daughter who, by all accounts, he was very lovely
kind to them, loving to them.
Folks are who they are with different people.
Yes.
So the person
may not be
is not the person they know.
That is correct.
So that's him. Because this man, they had 3 kids. They was living and eating and doing the things that folks do. So I guess he had a job. So I don't imagine the job.
But I bet his ass went to work
and nodding. I think you had to open your mouth and say something. But you did that. You managed to do that.
Yes.
But because you were sulking, what started out as sulking, you just took it to this extreme, which is just so unacceptable.
22 decades.
My God. God loved that woman.
And if she choked him to death in his sleep,
I put money on her
everything good happens for you.
To hell, he's straight. Now he better be. You
kissing
need flowers every day. You need. All the Starbucks you can handle. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I will say this. This is also a cautionary tale in what you think will just be a little something. Oh, he's just a little pushy, or just when he gets
touchy,
work,
he's a little moody.
Just be a little quiet.
Moody.
It's a lot for him. He's stressed. This is proof that no matter how mild the infraction is, it can blow up. It may not, because see, this didn't get worse. It can
this
didn't get worse
because that's the
this
moody
just kept
thing.
On
he
and
probably
on
was
and
moody
on
and on, and you kind of, and that's the normalization.
Well, you're jealous of this woman taking care of your kids,
right? That you evidently you want to do. He thinks like yes, she had to do it. You nodding and grunting. I don't know what's wrong with people. Doing it. Oh Jesus!
But I don't know. I guess y'all know. I'm divorced, and I date if I want to go on a date, I'll date. But then it kind of teaches you to look at things because see, here he is. He's playing the victim. Ick, major ick. Oh, you chose the kids.
Sulking.
You chose these babies, and their kids kids are close in age, like my kids. Now, Lisa's kids have a gap. I think from her oldest to her youngest is like 10 years, something like that. Like somewhere there in about 10 years. My kids are. I was pregnant 4 times in my 30s. Between what 31 and 36. I was pregnant 4 times. I have 3 living children. So my kids are real stair-steppy. Their kids were stair-stepped.
Yeah, they did appear to be. They didn't give their specific ages.
But they looked.
Yeah, they did.
But based on that, of course she was busy with the kids. One of them couldn't even walk when you started sulking.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like one of them at best was 2.
It's just wonder what goes through somebody's mind.
But I tell you what.
But she staged.
But you've said this before.
Women give so much grace.
We give too much grace. But you've said before, no is a complete sentence. I learned that from you, and it's so true. And people treat you how you allow them. Now, this is not to blame the victim at all.
No.
This is from the cautionary perspective. If you don't like what's being served, get up and leave the table. This is not towards her. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying for your going forward life. I have to learn that. I have enjoyed someone immensely and wanted more of that person and all the jazz. But if they keep serving me chicken, and I don't like chicken, which if you watch the show, you know chicken's not my meat of choice, I'm going to get up and go because what they know to serve is chicken. And if I want beef, I'm going to go get beef.
Well, I'm sure she couldn't. Whatever
she
the situation.
No, think about it. Come on, we know that how their stuff is with work too over there.
Yeah.
So he's supporting
we don't
3
know
kids.
Her situation. You don't know her.
Oh, I'm not faulting her.
Oh, I know.
I'm
but
not faulting her.
It does speak to the things what to do.
But if you want his ass
choices.
Beat, if you want his ass beat, I'll stab my passport for that. I ain't lying. I'd sneak this motherfucker at work. Oh, you gonna talk now? I bet your ass be asking me.
He was sitting there looking so pitiful,
and he
wasn't he? I could have just took a baseball bat to his head. It's like, my God, you are still crying about,
and you still whining.
Goodness, if anybody should be crying,
it's
her.
But he was like, oh, and I know it hurt
I'm sorry,
you.
And I gave you hardship. You think? Think she had a little hardship?
Oh my gosh. People are crazy.
They're fucking crazy.
And you know what? Okay. Sometimes, of course, we just think Americans are crazy because we see it's everywhere. Worldwide.
It's everywhere.
And then, can you imagine? You're in a hospital or in your bed, wherever. Lisa and I actually, her last child was the midwife still for all 3 of my kids. So that's kind of a strange synchronicity in our lives. So I don't care where you are. You're in the birthing tub, you're in the bed. I don't care if you're in the backseat of your fucking car. If I'm holding your baby and you won't speak to me, I'm putting this baby down and I'm whooping your ass with the energy I have left. Because they had a whole kid, y'all. They had a 3rd child.
I hope.
How do you switch positions if you're having sex and you can't? I told my homeboy about this story. Oh, sorry, guys. I told my homeboy, I said, we're covering this story. What do you think? And he was like, I'm confused about the kids. I said, what's the confusion? He was like, so they had another kid. I said, yes, they did. He was like, how? I said, we're adults. And my friend happens to work in the medical field. So I said, I don't know where you're confused, dude. Like, what do you mean? You and your girlfriend do the thing that causes kids. And he was like, but how did they do? I said, they just didn't speak. And he was like, the whole time? I said, no, they did not speak when they had sex. They didn't speak when she gave birth to the mother. Can you imagine telling someone you're pregnant and they go,
yeah, well,
girl,
not. I don't know. Don't you wonder what all the little signals were? Like you do a sign language. Yeah, what we doing?
You know, his kids would be multi-millionaires if they had put hidden cameras up.
Girl.
Like today on our YouTube channel, we're just going to show you where our dad refuses to speak to our mom. Tune in. Because I would watch it waiting on him to break, wouldn't you? I'd be watching it like he's going to say something.
Well, the interest would be how he conveyed stuff to her. That's what you want. Like,
do you want some more?
Watch this. Let's see what's going on. Just let me see. But you know what? I hope he O2, you better make it up to her. If you came to yourself.
The best years of her life.
Better make it up to her. I mean it. We're coming for you.
No joke. Now I'm telling you, you're gonna be crying by the water.
Right. You better be so nice to you.
My nephew is nonverbal, and he's in therapies and stuff, and all of it's getting worked on. But my nephew gets mad that he can't speak, and you can see when that frustration. He's a minor, so I won't share his name, but when that frustration, he gets so angry that he can't speak. And I have to, calm, baby.
It's that's why 2-year-olds have tantrums.
That's why, because they can't
do things they want to do.
Yes, I can't do this. I want to tie my shoes,
right, but I can't.
Yeah. And your ass was sitting here on purpose.
I bet he went to work and talked them folks' ears off.
Don't y'all know it? Because he didn't have outlet at home.
He was just a chatterbox. Went to the grocery store and told, hey,
you got some more fish at the market?
Oh my God.
Raggedy bitch.
But you know what? If I was at work, if I had encountered it, he ain't talking.
I silent treatment his ass.
Don't get in my face.
I do just like that.
No, I'd be not back in. Not backing him and grunting this stuff.
Raggedy. I just can't. I mean, y'all ain't gonna get me past the sex without talking. I know that's not what the episode is about, but genuinely. And then when she gives birth. Guys, birth is painful.
Well, so then what to tell him, take me to where I gotta go? I don't know.
Can you imagine? I'm in labor.
Yeah.
How weird.
You really want the particulars, don't you? Like, exactly.
But see, this is my thing again. And I feel like so many of our episodes, I'm just going to keep telling y'all this till the world gets it. Be careful of these folks that are the victim. Be careful of these folks who create the problem and then cry about it. Because he was crying and
But you
apologizing.
did it.
But you did. You didn't
it.
talk
You
to
did.
this woman for
Yeah.
20
But see, now
years.
you're kind of coming around, but it's like,
But the damage is done.
right.
And you know
right.
what? If none of his kids wanted to get married, it would make sense.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Because I'd be terrified of being trapped with a crazy person like that. So I'm gonna piss you off. You're not gonna speak to me, and then you're just gonna continue to not.
I just hope he's changed. I mean, I really.
I don't even care at this point. I hope she divorces him.
It's kind of too little, too late. But she stayed this long, so she might. I just want. When I tell you, you better be good to this woman. And he said he
like Tina said,
he thanked her for staying.
He did, but he cried. What you crying for?
Well, prove it. That's my thing. You say that, so prove it and show us, show Yumi.
Baby, Yumi need a statue erected in her name.
My God,
she a saint.
She does.
She a saint. Because if I was Yumi, I don't know if they have cast irons, but I'm gonna tell you, baby, you could have found something, picked up that difference,
that walk or whatever they do in Japan. In the walk,
girl, that would have been it.
Oh my God,
y'all don't this. On the other side of that, guys. On the other side of that, let's go into our "Let Us Be Your Wingman."
I would say, don't get married, don't these crazy people. But
let me save you from this foolishness with our "Let Us Be Your Wingman." So this week's tip for "Let Us Be Your Wingman" is that the stomach is always the way to her heart. I don't care.
Well, most people,
Well. All the good ones. Except for Victoria Beckham, because she's a habitual eater, which is why she stayed looking the exact same since she was a Spice Girl.
She the same stuff.
But you could get her one of her same things, I bet you.
Well, yeah.
Well, she got David Beckham, baby.
But sometimes, you almost don't even have to eat it. It's a thought. If somebody did it for you,
that's true.
Honestly, you would just be, even if you shared it with a roommate, it's like, here, you can have it. But you just love that they did it for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So on a random Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever, just surprise your person with their favorite coffee order, Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever coffee they like, Dutch Bros, and a cookie or a cupcake or a sweet treat. There's we'll tag the ones that we know in Dallas, and hopefully some of them are nationwide chains. Yeah. Just a little treat. And what would be really sweet is if you just put it on her door, or you make sure she's home, or if she's at work, just take it and drop it off at the front desk or with the receptionist or wherever, you don't have to encounter her, because sometimes it's better not to.
Yes.
Then there's kind of an expectation.
It does
kiss
so much
me,
for you.
Thank me.
Yeah, be excited. Yeah.
Right. But just leave it there and just text her or call her and say, look out your door, go to the front desk or whatever. There's a little treat for you.
Yeah.
And major points. You're
talking about some points.
Especially on a random day.
And if you're
no
thinking
holiday.
Yeah, nothing. No, it has to be random. I'm going to tell you specifically Tuesday through Wednesday. It needs to be the most random, days, kind of those just very, very random days. And then, guys, everybody got one of these. There's open a notes tab. Open a notes tab, name it Lisa, name it whatever her name, whatever his name is, just name it and just make little notes. Like just like, oh my gosh, growing up.
And maybe she put, be sure with, last week we talked about the Pinterest. I think.
Yes. You can get something from there. Yeah.
Have her put like her favorite coffees from the place.
Yes. Put all your favorites treats.
On yes. So that way, what her favorite coffee, what her favorite cookie is. And so you can get that. Yeah.
So and if you have a health conscious person, because this is the thing, everybody has something. Get their favorite protein bar. What's the one I like with the foam inside? You don't like it? It's blue. Is it Built?
Built, I think. Built.
So Built, the little protein marshmallow candies. Lisa's not a candy girl. Sweets don't tempt Lisa, but
that's not my thing.
It's not her weakness.
Yeah, whatever.
But it is.
Whatever it is, get it.
Do
get that.
Their thing.
And especially what would really give you good points. If they're having a hard day, like this is going to be a busy day for them.
Yes.
This is a day where they've got a lot
a Red Bull because you're having
a
long day.
Do it that day.
Sir, I'm cooking your favorite meal.
That would be so
because it's consideration,
right?
Plus, like the spontaneity,
and then the leaving it there.
There's no pressure for reaction.
Like you don't have to thank me. You don't have to say nothing to me. I just
did this because I like you.
And that y'all,
child, don't leave me no Red Bull on that poor sir. Somebody's son is getting something. Don't.
Yeah, so my gosh. That.
But guys, that's why these are good, because we're telling you the things that people need. We're telling
Yes.
you. And sometimes I think women have not sat with themselves long enough to even know what it is. So they can't tell you this. Like they can't tell you like, oh, that would be the best. I dated a guy. I forgot what I gave him. I gave him it was a little white gift bag.
Mm.
I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember, guys. But he saved the gift bag because he was like, no one ever gets me like the gift bag and the tissue and all the jazz.
Oh.
So then my car, I parked my car, but I didn't lock it. I was right there with my car. So I was going to get back in. So I get back in my car and they're on the passenger seat and I have all this shit because I have so many kids. There's this white bag, but the tissue paper is different. And I'm like, what the hell? So of course I'm kind of like, what is this? But I'm busy. So I have to drive off. So I drive off. I drive where I normally go, which is towards coffee. I call Lisa. I'm like, oh my God, so-and-so put something in my car. It was a Starbucks gift card.
Oh, that was sweet.
It was major brownie points. I was like, oh, but it wasn't I want to see her reaction. I want the kudos I want anything. So what I ended up doing was I got Starbucks, which is where I was going anyway. Got the same thing I always get, flat white, iced lemon loaf. I order the same thing every time, guys. I'm a very habitual eater. And I sent a picture of my order and just said, thank you.
Oh,
but it
sweet.
earned that person. I mean, clearly they made it to the podcast because I've just mentioned that it earned them enough points that it mattered. That was
it's
a day.
Little things, almost more than because it's kind of like I told my grandma to say, watch your pennies and the dollars watch themselves. That the little things are the things of life.
Those big are things that build.
I mean, we all love big stuff, but you can't do big stuff all the time.
But can I count on you for the little things? Yeah, those are the.
That is.
That just gave me a little pitter pat. That oh well. Sometimes they bite the dust, but that was one of his sweetest surprises.
Let us know.
Yes.
Let us know. Try it out.
Tag us. Email us. If y'all
send us the wedding picture.
If this means you have a baby, you've got two names. You've got Natasha or Elisa, whatever you want to name this baby. Yeah, we're not going to fight over it.
Let us know what happens.
Okay, loves. Thank you all for pulling up a chair and joining us for coffee. Please subscribe to Are You Free for Coffee podcast wherever you're listening. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode and find joy in the little things. Until next time.